I just love music, period. And when I hear something new, I want to know what it's about. I'm a musician. I'm not too proud to fucking, I know everything. Fuck that. I learn every day new shit. Life would be boring if you don't learn something new. You just sit there and do the same fucking thing over and write the same shit over and over again. It would be pointless. This record was written 10 years ago, most of it. I did 2 new songs I recorded in January of this year, but the rest of it was all recorded. I did this all over the world after I did the Alone I Play tour. I had my bass player Miles come out, Miles Mosley, and we wrote a bunch of songs in Europe, and then I went back to my house when I was living in Malibu in my little guest house. And my old keyboard player, Horse, who played keys in Korn for a long time with me, he came and wrote with me. My violinist, Shankar, who, the guy's legendary. He played with Peter Gabriel. I was Peter Gabriel's violinist forever. He was with Frank Zappa. He had a band in the early days called Shakti. He's just an amazing artist. So all these guys with me, and we wrote this amazing music. When I did the album, I really wanted to keep it organic. I wrote it, I wanted to incorporate all these different kind of worldly instruments in it. And doing that, I wrote it with samples, but most everything on this record is real. I had players come and actually play the instruments because I wanted it to be as real as possible.
Choking on air, something's making me breathe. All these memories I had, they are.
I've always had my battles with depression and anxiety. When I was going through that, I think I was changing medicine during that time period, and I had this thing where I was like, I felt like something was inside me and crawling on. You know, you get that when you want to crawl out of your skin feeling. That kind of inspired that.
Alarming in its present phase, destroying all these places in my mind.
Final Days. That was inspired by, at the time I was watching the invasion of Iraq. And I was just, that whole area of the Middle East is the birthing place of humanity. They say Mesopotamia. It has a place that's very special, and I was watching all this shit happen, all these people getting bombed and all this stuff, and I just said this tagline in my head, it's like, oh my God, they're bombing all the places left we have to hide from anything. Because there's this vast unknown there. It's just really that vibe, and it's just war for profit and all the stuff I was thinking at the time. I still don't think war is the answer for anything. I think we're human beings that we're growing up, but we could just get along and stop acting like fucking animals. Just it's so simple. Just people get married and make it last for years and years. Why can't fucking countries get along? It's give and take. Just do it. It's possible. It's just there's too many people with animal thinking, I guess. It's just I'm bigger and badder than you kind of mentality. So that was that vibe of that song, and I was going for this really. And Final Days was my favorite on the record because there's this really cool vibe going. It's this Vangelis thing. I was a huge fan of Blade Runner. So I was doing this kind of Vangelis vibe thing with some synths. And then I got this guy named Jovan Gasparian to play the Duke in the middle, and on the Duke is the most beautiful instrument I ever heard in my life. It's the go-to instrument if you want to invoke this like Middle Eastern, weird, like dope, vibey feeling. So I was really glad to get that.
I walk into this place 'cause I need help. See, they don't want me 'cause I'm not like them.
It's about me scaring the shit out of people at church and them not wanting me there because I was just different. And there's not saying that all churches are like that, because there's some really nice ones. There's ones like Head they're involved in, and Sonny from POD, he's got the Whosoever movement and all that stuff. There's really cool stuff. People are into that. There's places you can go, and there's great people involved in that. But just for me, this song is just a protest to those close-minded people.
So you really wanna do this shit now? You wanna take another shot in my pride? One of these days your words will ricochet.
Happiness is a song about just how life just always fucks me in somehow, some way. And I think that everybody can relate to that. It's just, life does this. And when I see that fucking bound thing coming, it's like, fuck you. Just, God, here it comes. And so, the song, My Happiness Is Never Allowed. And here it comes. Always seems like I can only stay happy for so long, but I think that's with everybody.
They make you feel like you're alive again. They mask the truth and gather. Money will change it from within.
other it's not anti-organized religion. I feel like what they think their God is not my God. I think a lot of Christians, I can blame it on Christian Europeans and the Spanish. These people went in through and destroyed thousands of indigenous populations' belief systems. And I just fucking hate them. Why would you do that? These people have beautiful belief systems. I believe a lot of different races on this planet were put on this planet as caretakers of the planet. These religious crazy people came and wiped them out. They say the American Indians here, the way that they lived on this planet was very sustainable. They believed in the way they did the crops, the way nothing was ever over hunted. They respected the earth. A lot of different races, indigenous races on the earth were here and inherited the earth. And then here comes these religious crazy people and saying there's only this God and you got to do this and we're going to burn you at the stake. You can't believe this and we're going to kill you and take your land and all that. This is kind of my frustration. That's their God. I've had it force-fed down my throat since I was 4 or 5 years old. And I've always had these things that I've gone through, and then the most traumatic one was me losing head to it. And I'm glad I did because it saved his life, and he's not a crazy Christian, Bible-thumping Christian. And he barely even talks about when he's around. But I respect what he does and goes out and helps a lot of people with what he does, so it's good. It's just, you gotta remember, this was 10 years, this is not me now, this was 10 years ago when he left the band, and I was pissed. So that's why there's a lot of anti shit. Now I don't care. Do what the fuck you want to believe. I don't give a fuck. I know what I believe is on I seem to be a drama magnet. She's always around me. And that's what it's just a catchphrase. When I see some crazy shit going on and I want to get involved and try and fix it, just walk by. Just keep walking, John. Just keep walking. I tell myself, and that's how that song came out. And I can't get away. I'm flirting with disaster. It's the price I pay. Visions of helplessness engulf me every day. Yet I walk on by and just walk on by. Just keep walking. Just keep going through life. Just tunnel vision. Don't let it get to you.
And your eyes flicker. You must be dreaming evil dreams. Are you eating someone?
The secret is about everyone's dirty little secret they have in their closet, be it whatever. This one is about if you're having an affair with someone, or if you're doing something bad to someone that you love very much. It doesn't mean to be an affair, but anything in that kind of nature. That's what that vibe is. I really liked. I wrote that with Miles, and I just love that vibe. I remember the drums have these old like Prince Lynn drums in them, and I like that. I really liked Prince a lot. It has that kind of vibe in it. Not that it's a Prince song, it just has the drum machine that he used. It was called the Lynn drum. So some old school shit. When you hear that drum machine, you think Prince, because he made that drum machine famous. There's been other people who used it, but you can't because that became Prince's fucking drum machine.
I don't feel hunger. I don't need air. There's blood in my veins, 'cause I know you are there.
Knowing if you have your family unit at home, whatever it be, could be your wife, children, anything. Knowing that you don't need anything other than them to get through life. Those are my basic needs in life. It's just family and close friends. I have very few friends, but people I'll call my friends. I keep a tight circle just because I would go crazy if I didn't. But I think that's any human's basic needs. And you don't need fucking $1 jillion. You don't need all this other bullshit. If you have good, compassionate relationships in life, this is the best medicine of all. Musically, interlude in the middle where I mix Indian music and Asian music. I mix, tablas and Indian violin with Kyoto from Japan, and mixed it up in this big old mosh of this really cool drum solo. And I had this big long part. I'm like, we're gonna do something cool in this part. But Ray came in and Ray did this record. It was the first time he got the Korn gig. He hadn't even played with this yet. I go, can you come in and do my record I've been working on? He's all, sure, man. And he came in and knocked it out. So he did this really cool Terry Bozzio-like drum solo in the middle. And it just made everything, it's just a really cool song. I like this, the amazing part.
I'm staring at a face that I can't even recognize. Been running so long in hell that it took.
Medicate is about Xanax, basically. I caught myself having to take that shit every day because of my anxieties, and I ended up having to go through a horrible kick. I got off of it, and The first time I was in 2008 or 9, I kicked it by myself, but in 2013, I started up again, or about from 2010 through 13, I kicked it again. I had to go into actual hospital to kick it because I was going to go into seizures if I didn't. It was just the vibe that day that I was like, I might have to take this pill to make me deal with life. If I don't, I'm throwing up and shaking, and life's unbearable. Medicines like benzodiazepines are very, very dangerous. And I know a lot of people and a lot of music are rising them up. That's the thing to do and glorifying it, but it will bite you in the ass, so just be careful. It's not fun to come off of. It really isn't. It's a quick fix for a short period of time, but if you take it for long enough, it can be a part where you have to take it for maintenance the rest of your life. And that's not good because it rewires the way your brain chemistry works.
You're everything I hated. Yeah, I was insane.
I was watching something one of my best friends was going through in a relationship and in life in general, and it just inspired me. I was watching him go through so much hurt and pain. I just got inspired to go and write something different from the way I see him. Like, see his hurt and take it in myself and write what I would think he would be wanting to say. What you believe is a funny story. The actual sample in the beginning, that's Ross Robinson's mom. Let's just put it that way. Okay? His mom is a self-help guru. She's been on Oprah. She's been on tons of stuff. Does this thing called The Work. So I was on her website and listening to one of her lectures, and she was talking about that came out. It's like, what you believe is your religion, and everything you do and say encompasses that, and there's no room for God in it. So anything you're thinking, what you believe, Jesus, God in this shit, what you throw yourself into is all self. And there's no room for what God really is. And it fucking almost put me on the floor. I had this big, huge realization, like, this is so fucking heavy. Oh my God, I never thought of it that way. So that inspired that track. So then I came up with the beat, and it's like, what you believe is your religion. I'm saying, I don't need anyone from above to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I can do. It's the universal law. If you respect people and be nice, that's all you need to do, get in wherever you're going. I did it, and I did it with all these crazy, like, taiko drums. Actually, me and Ray are playing taiko drums in the studio. All the drums are real. The best part of it is, I called Ross when I did it. I go, hey, I did a song with your mom talking in it. She goes, no way, I'm on my way, because he had his mom in the car. So he brought his mom over, and I go, I hope you don't get mad I did this. And then I played it, and the music kicked in, and she started pumping her fist, and she looked at me and goes, that's just beautiful, Jonathan. I love it. Give me the biggest hug. And I was just like, sold. I love that. I love that song.
Came in your window last night like a ghost. And this invasion was never supposed.
Gender is about Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. It's self-explanatory. The chord, can I wear your skin? Can I wear it now? It's just, I just watched that movie, and Buffalo Bill is one of my favorite characters. It's a mixture of this guy named Gary Heidnick and Ed Gein was Buffalo Bill. Gary Heidnick kept women in a pit, and he would use them as sex slaves. At times he thought that they were all talking to making a plan to escape and leave. So he went in there and he broke their eardrums with a screwdriver. He's a real crazy guy. He was using them as a sex slave. He didn't realize that after he was torturing some of these chicks died. And then he was like, oh shit, and then he started having to kill him, and he chop them up, and he mix them with dog food and feed them to the girl. He was a horrible dude. So, I had my serial killer moment. I'm not there anymore. We all go through waves. But I was really into the stuff because it's stuff I did at the coroner's office and true crime stuff, but it's a different story. So that felt right to write the song about that. It's one of my favorite characters in a movie. It was just so odd.
I have done everything not to feel what it is I'm feeling. This basement devil is kicking up.
And what it is like, I wrote it a long time ago, but it's just a song about learning to cope with things that bother you in your life. You gotta accept from what they are and deal with them and move on. That's the only way you're going to feel better. But there's a lot of us who just hang on to that shit and don't let it go, and don't accept it for what it is, and know, oh, we can fix this, we can do that, we can do this, and that causes more stress and more trauma in your brain, and it never works out. And when I wrote it back then, that wasn't in my mind, but now it rings true 10 years later. I'm like, holy shit, that's a really fucking powerful song, because it really speaks. It's sad, but it speaks the truth.